Welcome to RNS Podcast. I'm Dylan.
And I'm Evan.
Today, Evan.
Yes.
We're going to talk about, what are we talking about again?
Idiocracy.
Idiocracy. Classic. Never seen it. Classic.
You hadn't seen it? Oh, you said you only saw parts of it before.
Yeah, I only saw it as a kid, like a little bit on Comedy Central. But before we get into Idiocracy, Evan.
Did you watch it on Tubi?
I did watch it on Tubi.
Okay.
So shout out Tubi, because that's the second time we've watched, or I've watched Tubi for RNS.
Yes.
The commercials aren't that long. They're unintrusive. They have a good selection. So check out Tubi. Tubi, if you want to sponsor us. But yeah, Tubi, good platform. So if you want to watch our Buffalo 66 episode or want to watch this episode, they're on Tubi.
Yeah, it's easy for free.
Very easy. Yeah. Tubi's completely free. There's about I say there's a commercial every 20 minutes. Yeah. Maybe every 30 minutes. So
It's just like watching on cable.
Not bad at all. Maybe even it's better than cable, really, because cable can the commercials can go for a while.
Yeah.
They only play about 90 seconds of commercials or something. It's pretty good.
Yo, they need a sponsor to us. That was a pretty good ad.
Real sponsor us, yeah.
That'd be awesome.
And plus we support, at least I support the platform too. I'm sure Evan, you do as well. What'd you watch it on? You own it?
Yeah, I have it on DVD.
Oh, do you? Oh, okay, cool. But before we get into the film, Evan, I want to remind you all, please subscribe.
Please.
If you don't, I know you don't want to miss an episode of RNS Podcast.
Of course not.
So click the bell. You'll get immediate updates when we upload consistently every Tuesday, as we always do, every single time.
Yes.
If you like the video, please leave a like. That support helps us a lot. Leave a comment.
Please.
If you have any thoughts on Idiocracy.
Nobody ever comments. You'll sub, but no comments. Please comment.
Yeah, leave us a comment. I know you guys are smart people if you're watching this podcast.
Of course,
so you might as well, leave your thoughts down below and we can think about it. We can talk about it. I would love to have to follow up on something.
Yeah, me too. And like we said, nobody's ever really given us recommendations. So that'd be cool. If you just comment hey, you should watch this. Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, so if you have any thoughts, any questions, comments, concerns, or suggestions, leave those in the comments.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, man.
We're now at 84 subs.
84 subs. I think we have about 90% of people that watch aren't subscribed. So I know we got some return customers in there, so come on back, subscribe, come on back. But anyways, Evan, do you want to talk very quickly, briefly, Evan, about Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness?
And about how I lied.
And about how you're a fucking liar.
Yeah. It was unexpected.
I feel like you were just you had kind of a train wreck type interest. You know what I mean?
Kind of.
Is that what it was?
Yeah. I guess so.
We
can get into it.
Yeah, I was shitting on it really hard. I went to go see it immediately after work, and I was kind of texting Andy and Evan, our mutual friend Andy, for those of you that don't know.
I don't think we've ever referenced him on the podcast before.
You know what, Evan? Every podcast is someone's first podcast, so I want to be inclusive.
Oh no! Of course.
But our mutual friend Andy, we were in a group chat. I was just shitting on it, and they were like, "Oh, that's a good sign. Dylan's talking through the whole movie." Yeah, it's
Can I tell you one thing that made me go see it that you said?
What did it?
You were like, "Oh, there are some cool Raimi stuff." So I was like, "I don't want to miss that."
Oh, you agree?
Kind of. There was.
There's
a few things, yeah, and those were probably the highlights of the movie.
Yeah, sure.
But I feel like it, like I was saying to you, it's kind of neutered.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Well, it's interesting too because, we don't want to go on too long about Multiverse of Madness, but in fact, we might want to clip this part.
It sucked.
So,
yeah, it was bad.
But in general, it was bad. But I've seen a lot of people, and this is the reason you didn't want to see it. A key reason you didn't want to see it is because you didn't want to support Disney kind of slapping Sam's name on the movie and kind of shirking all the responsibility of the movie's reception on him, which they kind of did with was that her name, Chloe Zhao?
Yeah.
They kind of did that with her in Eternals, and they kind of, for the most part, they only hire directors that are yes men.
Yeah.
So when they hire Chloe Zhao, or like John Watts, but when they hire Chloe Zhao and Sam Raimi, they're like, oh, this is their vision. No, the fuck it wasn't.
Yeah, no.
And I see a lot of people blaming story elements on Sam.
Yeah,
which is fucking ridiculous.
Because they told him oh, this is where the story needs to go. Obviously,
it's just I feel like there was just elements of okay, here's the what's it called? The Shuma-Gorath fight in the beginning. Where do you want the zooms? Like, or like, you know, like he's directing particular parts of particular scenes.
Yeah.
And for the most part, the previs is done on certain things. The script is done on certain things. We know for a fact he didn't watch WandaVision. Mm-hmm. And he doesn't watch the MCU. Yeah. Which is based. But to blame the story on him, he was incapable of writing that story. Yeah. He doesn't know about the MCU.
He didn't know about the MCU.
So it was clearly the story elements were not him. But I do think a lot of the cool creative stuff, you know, you can credit some of it to him.
Yeah, there's some cool visual elements, especially with Scarlet Witch. Like, there's one moment where it's like the other universe Wanda, and she like looks in the window, and she sees like Scarlet Witch Wanda. Yeah. And that was kind of cool. There's one where she like crawls out. Do you remember? Like and her body's like kind of like
the Ring.
Yeah. Uh-huh. It looked kind of shit. Like the CGI didn't really look good, but
that was something.
That was like, you could tell that was like, cool little Sam Raimi thing.
Throughout
like,
the movie,
the contortion, of her body, whatever.
That's actually something that I thought was cool because that was the thing in Age of Ultron. Mm-hmm. We talked about like she had more of like a horror vibe in Age of Ultron. Yeah. Where she was like a mind controller and a mind reader and like she did that weird horror movie like skipping frames thing. Yeah,
they kind of went from that to her just kind of having laser beams come out of her hands.
And they brought back those horror elements here, which was interesting. And that couldn't have been Sam either, I don't think.
Yeah, but like I said, he did there's some cool little visual elements that I'll credit to him.
But there's a lot of stuff that like is a cool concept, or it's like it's kind of executed well, but this like the special effects look like shit.
Yeah, uh-huh.
There's kind of a lot of that.
And that's what I mean too. It's also like Sam Raimi is really known for practical effects. Like, you know what I mean? Evil Dead, Spider-Man, when they could, the Spider-Man movies had a lot of great practical effects, like Doc Ock's arms. There were no practical effects in this whatsoever, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like I saw somebody was like, or a few people were saying like when Shuma-Gorath's like eyeball pops out, they're like, oh, it's such a Sam Raimi thing. Like, I was like, I guess, you know what I mean? But it looks like you know what I mean? It looks like shit.
Yeah, so I think there's a lot of stuff in there that was actually like some good shit that, you know, could have been good, but it just wasn't executed very well. Like through the visual effects.
Yeah, and for the most part, I would not say it's shot like a Sam Raimi movie. Yeah, it looks pretty like standard MCU. You get some. I would say we were talking about this. You get some of like the Raimi zooms a little bit, but they're like he's known for like the really quick.
Yeah, they're zooms. Like really hard.
Yeah, and in this, it's not. They're like really slow. Like the one that goes on to Black Bolt, it takes its time. Yeah. So you know what I mean? That's what I meant when I said like it's neutered.
Yeah, like if you look at like say the shot in Spider-Man 1.
Norman's eye.
Where Green Goblin dies. Yeah, right. Yeah. Is that what you're talking about?
Oh no, I meant when he's like, when Dr. Strauman's like Norman, and he wakes up, and you get the zoom in on his face. Too. Yeah.
But also his death.
Yeah, and like, when he dies.
Those are super impactful, like hard zooms, and he does stuff to kind of pace the timing. Yeah. Like it's not realistic, but it's paced in a way that it's effective. Mm-hmm. You know. But in Multiverse of Madness or the MCU in general, they always use their camera work in such like a flat kind of like there's no attempt to play with the anticipation or the impact. Mm-hmm. It's just flatly like very intelligible, you know, like textbook, like so you don't get confused or whatever. Yeah. But a huge thing that Sam likes to do, like I said, is like play with the timing and the shit like that. So they didn't let him actually like they let him zoom in on stuff. Yeah. And they let the camera spin around every once in a while.
And it have a few like horror elements.
Yeah, but there's nothing like even close to like abstract or anything.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. So it's kind of ridiculous. Like you just have a few little moments, but for the most part, you could tell it's not like he had full control over this movie. Yeah.
And that's why it pisses me off, and I know it pisses you off too. Like people being like, Sam Raimi fans will love this movie.
Yeah,
Fine. Like I saw one that was like, oh, it's so sad that like the two like creator-driven movies that Marvel has done, people are shitting on. Like, this is not a creator-driven.
Yeah, no, definitely not.
Unless the creator is Kevin Feige.
Yeah. Like, well, then, yes, yeah.
It's not. No, Like, I don't know. So yeah, it kind of sucked.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, and there's one other thing. I saw like a review on Letterboxd, and they're like, it was another one that's like, oh, this is so Sam Raimi. Like, someone was like, oh my god, the plot is like barely held together. It's like held by duct tape. It's such a Sam Raimi. I'm like, what? Like, Spider-Man 2 has like one of the like tightest scripts. You know what I mean? It's like, there's not like a moment wasted in that movie at all. It's like, you get what I'm saying? So the story makes 100% sense. Every moment matters. Yeah. So as like, that's not a Sam Raimi thing.
People are just like trying to justify.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's like they're like.
Or Evil Dead 2. Like Evil Dead 2 is only like 90 minutes.
Like,
and
the
it's
most
like
experience
every moment matters. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The most experience they have with Sam Raimi is like fucking No Way Home.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
It's fucking ridiculous. Like, you're just saying shit.
Yeah.
Like it's like saying like, I don't know, like this, like the eye thing. Like, oh, that's so Sam Raimi. Like, is it? I guess. I don't know. Fucking idiots. But yeah, it sucked. Easily 1 out of 3 stars. I would go lower if it was possible, but I have to stick to 1 out of 3, you know.
Yeah, it's a 3 out of 10 for me.
Yeah. Because there's a little, you know, there's a little fun in there.
I guess.
There's a little fun in there. Mostly, there are some movies where I'm just like, okay, it's a Marvel movie. I get to go buy a popcorn and sit in the movie theater and think about superheroes. So there was an element of that I enjoy still.
Yeah.
That I don't think will really fade for me, but yeah, not good.
Oh, and the can we just say the Illuminati, they sucked, in my opinion.
They did suck. I kind of liked aspects of it, but not good.
Yeah. I remember we were talking about this, but like, just again, like shitting on some of the characters, being extremely disrespectful to the source material, which if Marvel is known to do in the MCU, there's a lot of that in it.
Well, do you want to just spoil it?
Well, we already have spoiled it, I think.
Kinda.
Talking about some stuff, but yeah, I don't give a shit.
You only really mentioned Black Bolt by name.
Oh, did I?
And you didn't even say he died, which he does. We already said spoilers.
Oh, I thought I spoiled something. But my point, no, I don't give a shit. Yeah.
No, but okay, so I thought Black Bolt's death was cool. I liked it. I did guess it.
Yeah, you did.
If you'll co-sign my.
You did.
My genius.
I was witness to that.
Because Evan's horrible brother spoiled for me that the Illuminati all dies to Wanda, and I guessed that she puts Mr. Fantastic in a taffy puller, which that doesn't happen.
Might as well.
I mean, it's like some goose shit is gonna happen to Mr. Fantastic, but yeah, I was like, she's gonna use his own
voice
to explode his head.
Yeah,
and I was fucking spot on.
You were.
But that's like the most violent thing I think that's happened in the MCU outside of like.
Probably.
Outside of like maybe like, I mean, Tony Stark being like pierced in the heart in the first one is like kind of, it's pretty violent, I guess. I
almost don't even count Iron Man 1 though. It's like,
because it's kind of just a movie.
Yeah, because it doesn't feel like the rest of the MCU.
It doesn't.
Yeah, it feels like
that's the least.
It feels like an actual movie. Yeah.
It's funny because people every time recently, like especially after Endgame, but there's a lot of Marvel movies where they're like, this is the first one that doesn't feel like a Marvel movie. Iron Man is like the only one.
Yeah. For real.
Every other movie kind of does.
Well, Phase 1 has a few. Like Captain America has its.
I would say Captain America does kind of feel like Iron Man. Like it's kind of, I feel like it's kind of trying to ape Iron Man. In Phase 1, everything kind of felt like that to me. Like it's like, oh, we're trying to like kind of make a smooth like adaptation like that.
Yeah, they definitely all have like more their own personality than the MCU does now, I would say.
Yeah.
Phase 1.
Yeah. But then after Avengers, everything wanted to be Avengers.
Yeah.
And it's just that fucking poison Joss Whedon dialogue, just like will never go away. But yeah, Black Bolt's death was pretty cool. The rest of it kind of sucked. I mean, I kind of like seeing Peggy in live action just because it's something we haven't really seen before. Yeah. She's like a cartoon that like got adapted to the movies. Like it's unique, but it wasn't like good. Like there wasn't really anything good about it. Her death, I kind of liked her death, being cut in half by the shield. But,
yeah.
Professor X, I kind of like that he was the only one that was kind of like thought Doctor Strange was a good guy. I kind of like that, and I kind of liked him going into Wanda's mind, but then he dies like a fucking idiot.
You like the golden chair?
I like the golden shower.
The golden shower.
I like the golden shower. I like when he's like, my big fucking neck beard jaw opened very wide when that happened.
wasn't awesome how John Krasinski is
No.
Mr. Fantastic.
No. Can we put a clip in?
Yeah.
I'll do it myself.
Of you saying
yo!
Yeah, it was awesome.
That sucked. And
Yeah.
we talked about that too. How it's kind of just like it was like the biggest, most known fan cast Marvel had for a character that's not in it, like with a big actor, and they did it, and then they just kill him unceremoniously, and all of them die like bitches.
Yeah.
Except I mean Captain Marvel and Peggy kind of put up a fight, but I don't know. And you were mentioning this too, which I completely agree. Like Mr. Fantastic is like the cornerstone of the entire Marvel universe.
They did him dirty.
He's the first. He's Marvel's Superman.
Yeah.
He really is. Well, you could say Captain America too, but Mr. Fantastic, predates. Well, no, he doesn't predate Captain America, but he is epic.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, I like him more than Captain America personally. As a character.
I like Cap better, but Mr. Fantastic, that was the Fantastic Four was like the first Marvel thing.
Yeah.
Like Captain America, I feel like didn't become like, oh, he's a Marvel character.
Yeah,
that didn't happen until like the late 60s.
It was just like a World War II thing.
Yeah, he was kind of like an old kind of propaganda character.
Yeah,
and he only became like a Marvel character, like TM, popular until. So my point is basically, Mr. Fantastic is like super important.
Yes, yeah.
And obviously the MCU is like their main thing. Like that's what everyone knows, and you're just gonna take him and kill him like a bitch. And all he does is like complain. He doesn't even punch anyone with a big rubber fist.
No, he doesn't.
He just bitches and moans.
You barely see him using powers at all.
And then dies. Yeah, he doesn't do anything. It's fucking annoying.
Yeah.
I thought at least it was cool that Black Bolt was one that killed the evil Doctor Strange, and then
that moment actually did look kind of cool. He's like, I'm sorry. You hear like the word echoing. That looked kind of cool. Yeah.
And it was also kind of interesting that it's like. I think you mentioned this too. You were like, "Oh, is the Illuminati?" I guess that's the Avengers of that world.
Yeah,
that's kind of interesting.
Yeah, because they were on Titan or whatever.
It's just so half baked. The whole thing, the whole Illuminati thing, and it's crazy because that was like the whole draw, like the biggest draw of the movie. Because it's like, why is this the What If universe Peggy is from? Like, is this them?
Apparently, it's not.
So, like, why?
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, why?
You see them go in an animated universe for like
1 second. And it looks like dog shit.
It did. That moment was horrible when they're going through like all the different.
It looks like the Chip and Dale trailer.
It did.
The Disney Plus movie Chip and Dale trailer.
Yeah.
It looked like fucking garbage, and it's stupid. Like he pukes even though he did the same thing in the first Doctor Strange movie.
That universe sucked.
Everything sucked.
But it's like we were talking about this how like they did nothing with the multiverse concept at all.
No, they didn't.
It's like we were talking about how Everything Everywhere All at Once actually did it like way better.
Yeah, we talked about that a few podcasts ago.
Yeah,
that was a good movie.
Yeah. I'm just saying, but now that we've seen the other big multiverse movie, you know what I mean? You can't not compare them. But it's like, well, obviously that movie did it like way better.
Insane, and it's crazy because this movie has, I mean, depending on what you count, it's like a part of a huge franchise. Is basically what I'm getting at. And they spend the entire movie explaining shit. And by the time, at least for me, I was like, fuck, there's 20 minutes left.
Yeah.
And they're still explaining shit.
Yeah, a lot of exposition in it.
It's really bad.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, like, I know you hate exposition, and it's kind of like, sometimes it's lazy, of course, but I think it's necessary also sometimes.
Well, yeah. But when it's necessary, it's fine, but I hate, like...
No, yeah. But,
you know what I mean? Yeah.
No, for sure. But my point basically is like, it doesn't stop.
In this movie,
it never stops, and I feel like,
dude, that's such a Sam Raimi thing.
That's such a Sam Raimi.
Yeah, all that exposition.
He's always expositing.
Yeah, he's not really known for his visuals. He's really known for a lot of exposition.
Known for, plot exposition for 98% of the movie. So, no, but it was really bad. It was really bad.
Like, imagine like in Spider-Man 1, if like when he figured out his web, he's like, oh my god, like, so I press my finger down and then it would come out of my wrist. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, my example is terrible, but like, you know what I mean? In the rooftop scene, you just see him like trying to do it,
or like,
and then he figures it out.
Or like in the lunchroom scene, when like his hand sticks to the fork.
Yeah.
It's like, my god, these little hair tendrils are sticking to the fork.
Exactly.
And it's not leaving my hand. Like, it's just really bad, man. It's really bad. But yeah, Multiverse of Madness sucks. We both don't like it. I'm sorry what they did to you, Sam.
Me too.
It's not your fault. I'm glad you got a paycheck.
Yeah, I'm glad. I am happy about that too.
You know what? Get your check, buddy.
Yeah.
You earned it.
Make your bag.
You earned it. Make your bag.
Yeah.
Make your bag. I hope for the love of Christ that they give him a shot at another Spider-Man.
Yeah, for sure.
I guess we'll see if that happens. Or even, I just want to see Sam make another movie. I don't care if it's, like, Spider-Man 4 would be awesome, but even if he just wants to make something else too.
Yeah, definitely.
I'd love to see.
Because he hasn't directed in a long time.
Yeah, and he still hasn't.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So, I guess we're still waiting.
Yeah.
Alright, so Multiverse of Madness, that's over. Let's get on into... You have any other cool topics? Anything else you want to mention?
Oh, no.
Well, let's get into Idiocracy.
Idiocracy.
Evan, do you have any interesting background facts or knowledge before we get into the proper movie?
We can talk about Mr. Mike Judge.
Oh, Mike Judge.
The director.
I like Mike Judge.
Yeah, he's a cool guy.
He's a bit of a Renaissance man.
He is. Mike Judge, creator of Beavis and Butthead, King of the Hill. I know you don't like Beavis and Butthead, right, Dylan?
I don't.
But you do like King of the Hill?
I do like King of the Hill.
Okay. Yeah. I'm kind of the opposite. Well, no, I do like King of the Hill. But I didn't like it for a long time. Like, when I was a little kid, like, when it would come on at, like, late at night, I'm like, I was like, why this show? You know what I mean?
I didn't like it until pretty recently.
Yeah, I feel like I don't know if this sounds like corny, but like I feel like you definitely have to be kind of older to like King. I don't think it's something you can like as a kid.
It's not like Family Guy.
Yeah.
Or like Friends or something.
Yeah, so I appreciate it more when I got older. But I'm still not a huge fan of it or anything. But Beavis and Butthead, I've always really liked. When I was a little kid, I used to watch the reruns on MTV, and so I mean. Like, they don't really play it anymore, but I always used to watch it whenever I could.
Did he make Daria?
He did. Wait, did he make Daria? I don't think he actually did work on Daria, but obviously Daria, it's a spin-off.
Created the character.
Yeah, it's a spin-off,
right?
But I don't think he actually worked on the Daria series, which I've never watched. I've never watched Daria, so.
I might watch it.
I've heard good things, but I have not seen it.
Is MTV on Paramount?
It is, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because Viacom owns
Yeah,
MTV.
I have Paramount, so I might check that out.
Yeah.
I've always, like, kind of meant to watch Daria, but yeah, I never liked Beavis and Butthead. When I was a kid, every kid I knew, and also Jim, my uncle, had DVDs of Beavis and Butthead and Jackass, and I just, for some reason, I was just like, I don't know.
Both classic MTV properties.
Yeah, right?
And it's funny, Idiocracy, I think, kind of pokes fun at Jackass a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has like a Jackass type character.
Yeah.
This movie, though, was really good. But yeah, Beavis and Butthead is just kind of like... It's just nonsense.
Yeah, but just some characters were always hilarious to me. And also, the way it just kind of makes fun of, like, classic rock and stuff like that. Like, the AC/DC shirts and, like, the Winger shirt. Like, I don't know. I always thought that was funny. Like, the Christian kid who's a fan of Winger. It's a funny show. Also Office Space. He directed Office Space also, which is... I really liked it. I saw it when I was younger. I feel like it would probably hit different now that I'm an adult.
Maybe we'll do it.
Yeah, that would be fun. Yeah.
Maybe we'll do it.
I haven't seen it in a long time.
That's another one I've always meant to watch. And like I said, I mean, I've seen Idiocracy, like, mostly the second half, I think, when I was a kid. Because when I was watching it today, I kind of was like, oh, yeah. Like, holy shit. Like, that kind of brings me back to being, like, 10 or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, accidentally watching it. Because there would always be times where I would wake up and then, like, Comedy Central would still just be on. And then it'd just be some random movie. And I was like, oh, shit, like Terry Crews.
Terry Crews.
No, I like Terry Crews, actually.
He was great in it. He was funny.
He's really good in it. I know him from, like, I used to love Everybody Hates Chris.
Me too.
So I remember when I was a kid, I was like, oh, shit, it's Chris' dad. So that was awesome. But, so yeah, Mike Judge is epic. Did he do anything else of note?
He made this movie also after Idiocracy. I saw some of it, but I fell asleep when I was watching it. It was a long time ago, called Extract. I'll have to revisit that sometime.
Is that another kind? Because we were talking about this too before we endeavored to watch this film, Idiocracy, Evan.
Yeah.
He kind of does like the in-your-face satire.
Yeah, he does.
Is it like that?
I really can't remember. It was a long time ago I started watching it. Jason Bateman and Mila Kunis are in it.
Mila Kunis.
Yeah, she's pretty sexy. But I don't really remember anything about it. I started watching it like late at night and I fell asleep. So I'll have to revisit that sometime. Yeah.
Well, let's get into the film, Evan.
Let's do it.
So, Evan, what is this movie about?
This movie's about a normal guy. His name is Joe. Totally not on the nose.
That reminds me of. Can I quote a Family Guy joke?
Yeah.
That reminds me of a Family Guy joke. There's like a scene because like Brian in Family Guy is like a writer.
Yeah.
In one part, he's like, his name's gonna be Norm because he's just a normal guy.
Yeah.
And
so
he's like, scholars in 100 years will pick up on that.
So yeah, they make a point to say like, oh, Joe is like extremely average.
Yeah.
So obviously he's named Joe, Average Joe. Yeah. And he's just like he's in the military, but he's like, he does nothing. Like, he works in the library. Yeah. He makes it a point to not do anything. He just watches TV. That scene is really funny to me, by the way. They're like, when he's like, don't have to train this guy? Like, they're trying to replace him.
And he's like, what does he say?
I think he can
figure out how to sit on his ass and watch TV. That's funny. That kind of did make me want to watch Office Space. Because I was like, I kind of like the part where it's set in the normal world.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's still kind of silly and heightened.
Yeah.
Like the way the military guy is like what he gets into, you know. That was funny. That was really funny. But it kind of made me want to watch like a normal setting kind of Mike Judge movie. So that was a good part, and it's the only part that doesn't feel like hell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, but speaking of which, so yeah, the guy Joe, he's extremely average, and because of that, the military's like. We're using him as a test monkey, basically, before we start using, like, our superior soldiers or whatever.
Oh, yeah, so the deal is the military has been testing something that'll, like, Walt Disney cryo-freeze them to save them save their best soldiers and minds for the future when they really need them. So they're gonna put...
That's scary.
Yeah, it is scary. It's really funny, though, the way he, like, is, like, talking to the higher-ups in that meeting, the scientists, because the way they react, and he's like... Oh yeah, like we got permission to like just freeze whoever we want, like, for like 10 cents raise, like for them or something. Like,
and they're all just like
they're
just like nodding.
It sounded like some kind of real shit.
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh yeah, like we talked to the Food and Drug Administration, we're gonna start serving them like less safe food for a 5 cent raise. Like it sounds like some real shit, but yeah, so they choose their most average guy.
Yeah, a prostitute. What's her name? Frida. Is that her name? Yeah. Rita.
Is that it?
Yeah, we mixed up Frito. And yeah.
Frito does come later. They should have made those a little maybe different names, but that's okay.
Yeah, because so.
Oh, is he named after Frito-Lay?
He is, yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
People are like named after brands.
Everyone's a brand.
Yeah.
Everyone's a brand.
We'll get into that. Rita. So they needed. I think. Did they want like one male, one female?
Yeah.
Yeah, and so they just went to a pimp, and he Upgrade is his name. Upgrade. Yeah, with 2 D's. And then, of course, the military guy gets into some wacky hijinks.
That's funny.
With the pimp. But anyways, so he basically sells his woman to him to get her like free of some charges, I guess. I don't know if he made some money off of it or whatever. So, but they're gonna be frozen for a year to test it out or whatever. And then, of course, that colonel got into some wacky hijinks and got into like a prostitution ring, I guess.
Yeah, so he attempts to like be a pimp himself.
Yeah,
like, work with Upgrade or something.
And they both get busted.
Yeah, they get busted, and then so it was kind of like a top secret thing.
Yeah.
So once the guy overseeing it goes to jail, it kind of is like demolished and forgotten about completely.
Yeah, and so they're basically in these hibernation pods for like 500 years.
Yeah, they wind up in a landfill for 500
years,
basically.
And when they awaken to find that the world has become extremely stupid.
It's become stupid.
Yeah, extremely stupid.
Ah.
Yeah, and that's what the movie is about.
Interesting plot.
Yeah.
Interesting plot.
So
interesting story.
Did you like it, Dylan? Did
you
like
good.
the movie? Okay.
Yeah, it was good. It was pretty funny.
Would you say it was prophetic, Dylan?
No. I do think I don't think it's prophetic, right?
No,
it's
me
like,
either. Me either.
It's like Back to the Future too. It's just like for the sake of the story.
Yeah.
Or for the But I do think the message is accurate.
Well, which aspect of it? So I want to say there's some parts of this movie I feel like are extremely on point, and the other ones that aren't so much. When I was like a douchey, I haven't seen this movie in like a few years, or like maybe like maybe like 10 years, something like that. I haven't
yeah.
seen it in a long time. But when I was a teenager, I was like, oh, this is so true. Like, people are so stupid.
You
know what I mean? You know what I mean? But then when I'm older, I'm like, oh, that's kind of cringy. Yeah, for real. Like, I'm like, oh, that's kind of cringy. But other aspects of it, I feel like, are extremely on point now. But anyway, continue. What are you saying?
Well, I don't know if I want to... Well, I guess it doesn't matter. Yeah, kind of what I took from it is... Because obviously when I was a kid, I barely even watched the movie.
Yeah.
Like, I kind of watched, like, the ending.
Mm-hmm.
But from actually watching the full movie, I kind of... Because I always thought, like, oh, it's just about, like, stupid people are bad. But really, it's about apathy, I think.
Yeah, kind of. I would agree.
I think it's less about just, like, oh, stupid people are bad or, like, poor people are bad. It's more about, like, apathy is bad. Like, it's not about the inaction of, like, the stupid or poor people. It's about the people... kind of like just going through the rat race of life type of thing. It's
like, I agree.
Yeah, you're important too in society.
I agree.
Because
the average Joe.
Because of the average Joe and their kind of like neglect of society, the standard for that person just drops. Yeah. Which that makes a lot of sense.
There is a thesis statement kind of moment with that later in the movie. When does that happen? When he's like going to... So at the end, there's like this crazy part where he ends up back in jail. And they're gonna, like...
execute him.
Yeah, but it's, like, a show now because...
he's famous.
Yeah, but, like, just in general, though, like, I forgot what exactly they call it. But it's, like, they live in, like, the extreme, like, reality TV type of culture where, like, everything like that is, like, made to be, like, a spectacle. Yeah. You know what I mean? That's part of, like, the idiocy or whatever. So it's, like, because they poke fun at, like, reality TV and stuff like that, kind of, like, dumbing down... the culture, I guess you could say, or dumbing people down. But, like, people being executed becomes, like, this giant spectacle. Like, they have the monster trucks coming in and shit. But he speaks to Rita before that, and he's like, yeah, it's because of people like me, like,
oh, he does say that.
Like, not giving a shit about anything that, like, the world has become like this. Yeah. He's like, I never really did anything with my life, whatever, or I didn't give a shit. And he's like, I'm probably the reason that the world has become like this. So that's what I was saying. That's basically what you were saying.
That's true.
Yeah.
So there is stuff that's obviously fucking like not real. Like no one watches cable anymore. But like, there's certain shit like that. And we were talking about this earlier when we went and got some food. But you were saying like, well, I was. Mm-hmm. What is it? A bunch of the like huge brands that control the world are like defunct or like
Carl Jr.
Like Carl
and shit.
Jr. and what was the other one?
Carl Jr. We were talking about
There's another silly one.
Costco. Well, Costco's still pretty big.
Costco.
Yeah, Costco is big.
That part is really funny.
Yeah, he went to Frito. So there's a character named Frito because like we were talking about like in the future a bunch of. So this is the part that I feel is pretty on point. It's like the America specifically has become like completely like corporate controlled.
Yeah, it's like a corporatocracy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, which is like that feels pretty on point. You know what I mean? It's like it's gone to the point where it's like ridiculous. Like people are named after fucking brands and shit like that. Or like
one part that was really funny was like they go. I forget what they were doing, but it's like they say like Frito-Lay, Time Warner, like a. You know, it's just like a conglomeration of like the three biggest like companies, and it's like that's become more and more true. That's
you're talking about Fuddruckers, by the way.
Fuddruckers?
Is that what you're gonna say? Like Carl Jr. and Fuddruckers? Are you talking about the defunct brand?
I think no. I'm talking about like there's one part where they basically like make fun of conglomerates. And he goes up. I think he goes up to the food machine that says he's gonna take the children away from that.
That one's Carl Jr.
Because they're like.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the defunct brands or whatever.
No.
That are like running the world.
Well, that's true, but at this, like, just you know, people are like, oh, Disney owns everything.
Yeah.
Because they say like, Viacom, Time Warner, Frito-Lay. Mm-hmm. Like, cause you know when they mix, like when a company like absorbs other companies, it's like all the same name.
Yeah, like you said, like Time Warner.
Yeah, they had like a really long one. Yeah, I was like, that's like more accurate now.
Yeah.
Even.
Yeah, so it's shit like that. I feel like, well, this is like super on point. You know what I mean?
Well, basically, like you were saying, the corporatocracy aspect.
And like, point. And people having their names fucking be named after, or like the fact that like we said, there's the character named Frito who kind of. I don't want to say he's like the sidekick, but he's like the third main character, I guess, or whatever.
Yeah.
Who's his lawyer? And he went to law school at Costco.
His introduction is, and that part is funny too, because he was like, "Oh yeah, I know, but my dad had to pull some strings."
Yeah.
I was surprised I got in there too. But he was pretty funny. I really like the part where he first meets with the main character, Joe, right?
Yeah.
I didn't even retain his name until you just pointed it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he meets Joe for the first time when he crashes through his window.
He does not give a shit.
And he's like, "Hey, quiet.
Because he's watching fucking Ow My Nuts. This is what you're talking about. It's like the spoof of Jackass.
Yeah, it's just like someone getting hit the nuts.
Yeah.
Exclusively every time.
So it's like, that's kind of, I feel like for the time it came out, and also the fact that Mike Judge was part of MTV, I feel like that was kind of a shot at Jackass.
Definitely.
So maybe he's not a fan. I don't know. He probably thinks like shit like that appeals, I guess, to the lowest common denominator. So maybe I'm there because I like Jackass. But it's an extremely stupid form of entertainment.
Well,
you know what I mean?
He made Beavis and Butthead, so I don't think it's super. Because there's a time and a place for stuff like fast food or stuff like Jackass or stupid shit. But I think the point was just even the news, it's just this shirtless ripped guy and a girl with big tits. Everything has become that.
Yeah, it's violence and sex.
Yeah.
It's everything.
Yeah.
Because there's a Starbucks, they give hand jobs at Starbucks.
Which is awesome.
Yeah, it's awesome. Oh, what's also funny is the inflation.
Which one?
The inflation.
I don't know.
The money's
money.
Yeah, the dollar bills are $1,000 bills because inflation is fucking insane in the future. That's pretty on point too.
Yeah, it was $2,000 for her to call somebody or something. That was pretty funny.
But what were we saying? Oh, about when he breaks into Fritos. Well, he doesn't break. His pod falls in there because the garbage it got in. So.
And the part,
that too, the environmental stuff is
the part where he's watching porn, it's a similar scene later where Frito's watching porn, instead of the ball kicking show, and he's like now I'm baiting,
he's like, shut up, bait it. And they have he's eating ice cream out of the tub.
Yeah, it's this weird. That food is really funny. It's basically lard, butter, cheese, ice cream. It's just this goop that they're just fucking.
And he's eating it with his finger.
And they just eats it with his finger. Shut up, mate. That's so funny.
Shut up, mate.
That's a good one. And then the show is a woman cutting a steak with her feet.
Yeah.
Remember that? It's really funny.
And he's drinking. I don't know what it is. He's drinking something from
Oh, and they all have those the only thing you see them drinking is out of those it's a big gallon. It's basically a big gulp. Remember big gulp from 7-Eleven or whatever. A super large American type soft drink thing. And of course, there's no drinking water.
Yeah,
which is a huge plot point.
Damn, maybe this movie was pretty on point. It's shit like that. It's just it's so ridiculous. But it's the way it pokes fun at certain shit that's part of our culture now, or our world, whatever you want to say, is funny. But
that's something I didn't really think about though, because it's super. They never draw attention to the butter.
Yeah.
The butter tub thing, whatever that is.
Yeah.
The weird.
Because you see her eating from it later.
Yeah, she's in the bed eating it. It's just
And I said, I didn't think about it like that, but it's lard kind of.
It's this lard butter ice cream thing. I don't know. It's really funny.
That's scary.
Yeah, it's the Soylent Green or
no, for real.
Cockroaches in Snowpiercer.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Because the food running out is a part of.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, so it kind of makes sense. They have some kind of artificial bullshit that they're just feeding people. But also, they kind of make fun of I don't know what the word for this. I don't know if commodification is the word, or I don't know, ease of access. Commodification probably not the right word, but he's sitting in a chair watching this, watching Ow My Nuts under the porn or whatever, and he gets up and then you see it's also a toilet. It's a toilet and it's his living room chair or whatever. I don't know what the word for that is, but it's kind of cell phones has everything you need in one. Yeah, kind of consolidation.
But not in a good way.
Yeah. It's extremely lazy.
Yeah.
It's you have your toilet and your in your living room.
I didn't even notice that.
Oh, really? Yeah, he gets up into the toilet and it flushes. And you see later when he's talking to Joe the second time, when Joe comes to his apartment, he sits down and he pulls his pants down. Yeah.
I noticed that, but that was after he said he was baiting.
Oh, yeah.
That's when he said, "Shut up, I'm baiting." So I thought he was about to just start jerking off.
Yeah. That was really funny to me.
Who is that guy? Do you know?
Dak Shepard.
Dak Shepard.
Yeah.
What is he from?
I forgot what he's in some other shit, but I can't think of the top of my head. Is he a stand-up comic?
Or did he used to be?
I don't he might be.
I definitely recognize him.
Yeah, he's in some other shit. Luke Wilson is Joe. Love to Luke Wilson.
Is he Clerks?
No.
What is he from?
Owen Wilson's brother. He's in a few Wes Anderson movies. He's in Royal Tenenbaums.
Luke Wilson.
Yeah.
What do I know him from?
He's in a few other shit. I don't know why I can't think of anything right now, but the first thing that comes to mind for me is like the Wes Anderson movies he's in. He's like my favorite part of Royal Tenenbaums. He's like the best character in that.
Luke Wilson. Oh, he's Stripe.
Stripe
from Stargirl.
Oh, he is in that. Yeah, isn't he? Yeah, he is in that.
I think I know him from something else. But I remember I sent you, like, I don't know, it was like a long time ago when I first watched
I do remember this. I said that
like, Luke Wilson. But yeah, he's good.
Yeah.
He's good in this.
He
reminds me of, I think the reason I said, like, he was probably a Clerks guy is because he reminds me of Jason Lee a little bit.
I could see that, I guess.
Not that, whatever. But Jason Lee, not Jason Lee, fucking Dak Shepard.
Yeah, Dak Shepard.
Whoever we're talking about.
Frito.
Frito
Pendejo.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Funny movie.
Yeah, it's funny. It's funny. What else? What are some other moments that maybe stood out to you, Dylan, that you want to talk about? Yeah.
Oh, goodness. Okay. I mean, it's hard to top Shut Up, I'm Baiting. That's really funny. But,
do you want to talk about the president?
The president's awesome.
Yeah, Terry Crews.
Terry Crews. I love Terry Crews.
His name's Dwayne Elizondo Mountain Dew Camacho.
And it is really funny. We didn't really mention, like, the society.
Yeah.
Like, of course they're idiots. But it's, like, it's a mixture of, like, what's the word? It's like, everyone is a mixture of, like, white trash, like, Hispanics, and, like, urban, like black people.
Yeah.
It's kind of a mixture. And, like, even the cops have, like, a weird, like, Mexican-looking graffiti art, like, shirt.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it kind of reminds me of, have you seen Elysium? Mm-mm. It's like, in Elysium, that movie sucks, by the way, but that's besides the point. It, like, takes place in the future, and then, by that point, it's kind of like, I forgot exactly what happened, but it's like, Mexico and America have kind of, like, become one. I don't know, it's weird. It's like, they don't really go into the movie a lot, but it seems like it kind of has that vibe in it.
The narrator says
right?
it. The narrator actually, like, directly explains it. They do that kind of a lot in the movie.
Yeah.
Where the narrator comes in and just explains shit, but I guess you kind of need it sometimes.
It's like there's a mix of, like, English and Spanish.
But that's what because that's when they mention it, is the first time he talks to somebody. That's not Frito. Like, after he goes out on the street.
Yeah, but that's like, yeah, so he's a white guy and his name is Frito Pendejo. Like you were saying, but anyways.
But he, the first time he talks to someone that's not Frito, they're like, he says, like, oh, it's a mixture of, like, white trash and, like, cholos, and, like, that's their language.
Yeah, uh-huh.
And they say, like, oh, he could understand them, but then they call him the F word.
Yeah.
When he speaks.
And Ponthus.
Yeah.
That was one part I was like, okay, that didn't age well to me. Because I was like, I feel like when I'm younger, I'm like, yeah, like, when I'm younger, I'm like a douchebag. I'm like, yeah, like, why don't you speak right? You know what I mean? But, like, now it's like, oh, that's so cringy. You know what I mean? It's like,
kinda.
It's like, I feel like it's kind of punching down. It's like,
yeah,
why don't you speak proper English? You know what I mean? So that's one part of me. I think that didn't age that well to me.
I don't think it's that bad because they don't direct it at a certain group or anything.
No, they don't.
Because they go out, like I said, they go out of the way to that. I think part of the reason the narrator's there is to make them not look so bad. Because
I agree.
Because they kind of say, like, oh, it's, like, also white trash, and it's, like, a mixture of, like, the lowest common denominator of, like, all cultures has become, like, the norm. Mm-hmm. So they don't put it on any particular group or race or area. It's kind of just, like, everyone's stupid, and they kind of just mixed all their stupid shit together, and all their slang. So I kind of agree that it didn't age so well, but at least it's not like they don't pin it on any particular type of thing.
That's some. I guess we can just kind of get into that now. That's probably my biggest problem with this movie now is that I feel like a lot of times it is punching down. Like we said, all the like we were saying, like all the corporate stuff. I feel like that's really good and on point. But like, there's some like. I've seen people say like, "Oh, this movie." I would not go this far at all, but people have said like it supports eugenics. No, I would not go that far.
Absolutely
but
not.
The reason they say that is because of the beginning of the movie, when it's like, "Oh yeah, all the stupid people." You remember the scene where it's like, "Oh, the smart people they can't have a baby," and then like all the stupid people are like breeding at like a crazy rate, and you see like the family tree. That's the reason why. But
is this still eugenics if it's based on like IQ?
Yeah. Because I think that's where... Because they get into that in the Wisecrack video, actually.
It's just like specified.
Because that's originally where the theory originally came from. Had to do with IQ.
Not race or anything.
I don't think so. But like, I don't know. I didn't get into it. I was just watching that Wisecrack video about it.
Okay. That's interesting.
So yeah, it's like... Okay, that's not great. And I feel like... Instead of kind of pointing out, oh, why are these people stupid? It's not really like... It's kind of just blaming them directly for being stupid and for breeding.
I disagree with you because that's what I used to think when I was younger, like I was saying. But they kind of... I think they do a good job of establishing that, like, kind of the... what's the word? Like, the... What's the word? It kind of falls on the average person. Yeah. I think they do a good job of pointing that out. It's not... Because it's like, you can't just make people smarter, but like, if the average person has higher standards, that elevates the society. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I feel like it's not, they're not trying to get to the, like, the inbred, white trash that's like in the beginning. They're not trying to convince them, like, have less kids. They're trying to convince the average person to kind of like, you know.
Well, yeah, that's a big part of the movie, the lead follower, get out of the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, so... Like you said, the average person should try leading more.
Yeah.
Which is what he learns in the movie.
Because there are people that are smart, but they're just apathetic. There's a lot of people like that.
Yeah, and they kind of point that out at the beginning. Remember, they're like, the world's greatest minds, like, they didn't give a they were too focused on, like,
making boners last longer.
Yeah, and hair
loss.
Yeah, hair loss. Which is kind of true, I guess.
But that's something else.
Yeah.
It's a different topic. I think a lot of... Evan, can I say something that's super, like, Joe Rogan-y? Or, like, stuff like that?
Yeah.
I think a lot of the world's problems are propagated, Evan, by pharmaceutical companies.
Oh, of course.
And big business.
Of course.
And
I think, that's what I kind of mean, though. I feel like... Because that's definitely a part of this movie. Mm-hmm. But I feel like maybe they could have went... I shouldn't say they went hard, like, because I don't need everything to be, like, right in your face, because I don't even like that.
But there could have been more of it.
Yeah, maybe. Because it does feel, like I said, at times it really does feel like it's punching down on me, and that's kind of the part I don't like.
I feel like they do... I think they do...
Because you kind of have to address why some of these people are stupid, you know what I mean?
I don't think you do.
I don't know.
I kind of just feel like, because like I said, the point...
I don't need it to be fucking, like, extremely, like, because obviously it's just a comedy. It's not, like, I don't think it's really trying to make, like, an extremely thorough analysis of, like, society or anything like that. Yeah. It's just kind of a goofy satire. But I don't know. What were you going to say, though?
I don't know. I think, well, we've kind of been talking in circles about it, I guess, but I guess we don't agree on that one. Okay.
Well, no, I see your point of view for sure. It's just I'm not like I said, I'm not gonna be one of the people who says this movie supports eugenics. That's kind of ridiculous to me.
But I mean, I think what they say about, like, kind of like lower class, and class meaning like in a literal sense of like economic, like lower class.
Yeah. Lower
class people tend to have more kids. It's just true.
Yeah,
they have less access to, like, effective birth control. Yeah, you know.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. I feel like people are, like, upset that the movie didn't address some of the reasons why these people who are not intelligent kept having babies. But I don't know. You don't need everything spoon fed to you.
No.
You know what I mean? So,
and like I said, I don't.
So I'm kind of on the fence about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I see what you mean. I just think, like, if you are one of those people, like, you know what I mean? If you are, like, a person like that watching this movie, you already kind of know why.
Yeah.
Like, you don't need that told to you. And if you're, like, if you're a fucking genius like me or you,
of course,
we already know all that
we
stuff.
know,
so
we know.
I feel like it, I don't know, I feel like it would be unnecessary.
Yeah. That scene is hilarious, though, by the way.
Some of it does.
When they keep having the baby.
Yeah, that is funny. I like the part where, where he's like, oh, he had a terrible accident, but we're going to be able to fully recover his genitals. And he's like, get your hand off my dick.
Yeah, that shit was funny.
That was really funny. That's a good one.
Oh, but we never, we were saying we were going to talk about President Camacho. We didn't really get into it.
President Camacho, I mean, he's not a huge part of the movie.
Yeah, but he's funny as fuck.
And he's like, it's kind of funny that he's kind of one of the smartest people.
I was going to say, yeah, so people have compared him to Donald Trump, and honestly, I don't really think that's fair. I don't think that's fair. You know why? Because President Camacho, like you said, I feel like he actually is one of the smarter people in this movie.
Yeah.
Because, like, I feel like they could have easily just been, like, just had, like, some power-hungry asshole who was like, yeah, I want to do everything myself. But, like, he tries to, like, he's like, all right, I know there's somebody who's smarter than the rest of us. Let's get him to try and solve the problem.
Is in his own, like, simple way.
Yeah. I mean, it's ridiculous that he's like, it's ridiculous that he's like, yeah, this guy's gonna fix every single problem at his fucking speech or whatever. That was funny. Oh, that was funny when he starts shooting the machine guns at the rally.
When they get wild.
Yeah, when they're like, hey, fuck you or whatever to him. They start saying, hey, he grabbed the machine gun.
He's like, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, Terry Crews is really funny in this.
Yeah. But no, I think maybe the Donald Trump comparisons also come from the fact that he was like a reality TV star. He was a WWE star. And he became president.
Yeah, and like Donald Trump like hosted WWE or at some point or something like that.
Yeah, he was on WWE, and then he had like fucking
he had like a storyline on it or something.
No, he had a Celebrity Apprentice or whatever. Well, Apprentice, that shit. You know, people consider Donald Trump like a reality star, and then he became president.
You could also bring that back to Ronald Reagan.
Well, yeah, that's true.
You know
that's true. Yeah.
It's kind of a similar thing.
Yeah.
So. It's not like a. Yeah, I feel like there's a. People tend to see a movie like this and they're like, this would be the world in 2011, like we were saying. But if you take the time to think about it, like, history repeats itself.
Yeah.
Like it's true. Like a lot of these things were true then and they're true now.
Yeah.
So, it reminds me of actually the song I was listening to. It's called Napalm Sticks to Kids.
I've heard it.
I sent you it, but you don't care about me.
I'll listen to it.
It's a good song.
Okay, I'll listen to it.
And it's basically like a Vietnam protest song. And when I first heard it, so I just heard it randomly on Spotify. And it's basically like, it's very much actually like Idiocracy, kind of like it's a very like in-your-face satire, where it's just calling for violence against Vietnam people, and it's supposed to Vietnamese people. Excuse me. I'm sounding like an Idiocracy character myself.
Violence against Charlie.
Violence against Charlie. No, okay, but it's the same type of satire, and I wound up being like, oh, this was probably made in like the fucking like, it was probably made really late. Yeah. But it was made like right when the Vietnam War started, like 1970 or when, I don't know when exactly it started, but
I think it was in the 60s.
Was it?
I don't fucking know. I'm not a historian.
My point is, I thought...
I'm in Idiocracy. I'm literally living in Idiocracy. I don't know.
No, but it just reminded me of that because I was like, someone wouldn't make like such provocative song in 1970. Like, this has to be from later, but no, people were still nutty and wacky and smart.
Yeah.
Back in the time. So.
Yeah. Well, even back then, there was just a whole movement against Vietnam. Anyway,
it's just like a surprising kind of satire that you wouldn't really expect to come from the 70s. You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't know.
Hey man, we got Fritz the Cat in the 70s.
Fritz the Cat epic. What made you bring up Fritz the Cat?
Satires in the 70s.
I guess.
Because they were making fun of the 60s and Fritz the Cat, so.
That's funny because that was like one of the first things like about comic books that I like learned about.
What do you mean?
Outside of like Superman or whatever.
Oh, Fritz the cat.
I remember I watched when I was young like a documentary about like X-rated animation and comics and like counterculture comics and shit like that, and I was like, they had a cat that had a dick. And that fucked up cat. That's fucked up.
Do you know about Robert Crumb?
I love Robert Crumb.
Oh yeah, we should do a documentary sometime.
Yeah.
Crumb.
No, actually, I was talking to Joey about that.
Yeah.
I was wondering, you own it, don't you?
I do.
I would love to borrow it if you have it.
Yeah.
I don't think you can find it anywhere.
No, I think you can still find the Criterion of it because they were releasing it. But yeah, Terry Zwigoff directed it.
Or in terms of streaming.
He's made a lot of good shit.
Like I don't know if I can stream it anywhere.
Ghost World. Oh no, streaming probably not. Ghost World, Article Confidential.
We were talking about doing that.
Yeah. Bad Santa. That was a good movie.
Bad Santa epic.
That. Yeah.
That's on my watch list.
That was a good movie. Yeah. It's funny.
But yeah, I fucking love Robert Crumb. And you know, what is his name? Hank Azaria? The fuck is his name? Mike Judge?
I don't know. Oh, Mike Judge.
Who's Hank Azaria?
Is that what's it? No, never mind.
Anyways,
I don't know who that is. That does sound familiar though.
I think he's a voice actor.
Maybe.
Anyways, Mike Judge, he kind of reminds me of that kind of, you know, like Beavis and Butthead, like fuck you, like I'm just gonna do whatever I want.
Yeah, definitely,
you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I like that.
I agree.
Kind of thing
I agree
a lot. Even though like I said, I don't really like Beavis and Butthead that much, but I like I respect the kind of the angle, the vibe.
Yeah.
I like that kind of thing.
I liked Mike Judge in Spy Kids too.
Was he in that?
Yeah, he was.
He's
like do you remember like the theme park in Spy Kids too?
Yeah.
He's like the guy who runs the theme park, whatever.
Oh really?
Yeah. With the
funny.
cowboy hat.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah. Dude, we should do Spy Kids sometime.
Oh, we should.
Especially, I remember when I was a kid for some reason, I thought the opening of Spy Kids 2 was so epic. Doesn't he like save the president's daughter from like a roller coaster or something?
Yeah.
Junie?
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's like a lone agent. He's like a male. He's like working on his own.
No, that's in part 3.
Is that part 3?
Yeah, when he's the agent. Yeah.
Part 3's badass.
Because Carmen's like missing or whatever.
Oh god.
She's in the game.
What a great franchise.
That is a great movie. You know, like low key, that was kind of like. I don't. Okay, this is gonna sound so stupid, but for like a kids movie, it's kind of interesting that like the other protagonist from 1 and 2 was like in the third one. She's like gone for like more than half the movie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She didn't show up until later.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's kind of something interesting for a kids movie to have done.
Maybe she just was like, I don't feel like doing this.
Oh, but at least it's a plot point. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then it's like.
It's not like some unexplainable.
Yeah.
story.
Yeah.
That's true.
I don't know. But anyways, that's Spy Kids.
We'll talk about that.
Yeah.
Another day.
We will.
You want to know another interesting? You're talking about Mike Judge and Spy Kids.
Mm-hmm.
You want to know a cool little cameo type role in this movie, in Idiocracy?
Oh, tell me.
Are you aware of it?
Tell me.
Tom Kenny.
Oh, is he in it?
SpongeBob. He plays one of the announcers, like one of the ATM vending machine people.
Oh, is he the Carl Jr. one?
I think so.
The one we're taking your children.
Yeah.
So that's really funny too. Like we said, it's like so like the corporations have like seeped into like the government basically, so they're like part of Carl Jr. like deemed the mother unfit, so they're gonna take away her children. Oh yeah, I wanted to say, but speaking of Carl Jr., I feel like the reason they chose Carl Jr. in this movie, because I don't know if you remember, but back then Carl Jr. had that ad campaign where it was like the super hot chicks like eating the burgers.
Oh yeah.
Do you remember?
Yeah, I do.
And then like the whole like sex being a part of everything is a big part of this movie. So I feel like that ad campaign may be a reason they chose Carl Jr.
That sounds
right. Yeah. So I don't know.
That's a good take. I would guess you're
that's what I was thinking.
That's one of the most like egregious, like sexualized ads I can think of. So you're probably right. Yeah.
That was wild.
That was wild. I miss those days. I do miss those days, but yeah, that Carl's Jr. part is really funny. And in that part too, they say like Time Warner, Viacom, Taco Bell, U.S. government. Do you remember?
Yeah.
That? At the end of all the companies, it says U.S.
government.
But
you know what's funny? Fox, they tried to bury this movie at first when they made it. Yeah, because they thought like, oh, the sponsors are gonna be angry about like.
Were those paid sponsors? Or were they just like?
No. They didn't like. They didn't like actually sponsor the movie, and that'd be kind of that would actually be funny as fuck. But they thought like
permission though.
No, not. I don't know. I guess they thought like ad companies would be pissed off or whatever. Like there'd be a lot of like pushback against the movie, I guess you could say. And nobody would want to do advertisements for it, I guess. You know what I mean? because like it's obviously poking fun at all this shit. So that kind of
That is interesting.
Yeah,
I was reading a comment, like I did a little bit of like, not really research, but I clicked a couple videos on YouTube, whatever, and I was looking at the comments, and people were saying that, the reason Fox kind of what's the word? I don't know, like you were saying, like kind of buried the movie. The reason it had.
Well, they tried to. They didn't want it to release at all.
But the reason that it was gonna have a wide release, like a
and it had a limited
release,
one,
but it had a limited release. Yeah, and they were saying the reason that was is because of I think specifically they said Taco Bell and something else, maybe Starbucks.
I can't remember.
There were two, and they said that two advertisers. So I don't know if they did pay to be in the movie or if they had a deal or anything, but it was definitely, like you said, like the reaction from those corporations. But it's become quite the cult classic, Evan.
It is, or it has, yeah.
Hasn't it? But yeah, that vending machine scene is really funny.
Yeah.
The woman tries to buy fries with her kind of her last bit of bank account of her money, and it spits out an empty box, and she's like, hey, give me my fries.
Yeah.
And they're like, your bank account is empty. Your bank account is empty. Like SpongeBob's telling you your bank account's empty, and then it's like, you are a bad mother. And then what does he say about like?
Yeah, we're gonna like we're gonna take your children away.
Carl's Jr. Yeah, it's like, but Carl's Jr. will take custody of your children.
You know what's also really disturbing, and it feels true too. It's when he's in the hospital and they're like playing the lottery machines to win healthcare.
God, that's a good one. Yeah. I forgot. That is a good one.
That's fucked up.
Because I didn't laugh.
And he's like bleeding out of his head, and he's like at the lottery machine trying to get healthcare.
It's clearly like the actual like emergency room. And he's like, oh fuck, like it's the only way. That is fucked.
It is.
And because obviously that's not something that's happening.
Yeah.
But it's a really good because it's like there's certain things that don't track, but that one is like. Even though it's not like true to life, it's a really good satire. Of,
of our healthcare. Yeah.
I mean, because in a lot of ways, it does feel like a lottery, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. It does.
Wasn't there something else? And it was pretty funny about like the fucking, because in like certain fast food places, the cashiers like they basically just press pictures.
Yeah, and it's like that at the hospital.
In the hospital. Yeah, press for the affliction. The doctor was pretty funny too.
Justin Long played him. Yeah. His name was Dr. Lexus, so he's named after a fucking car company. He's like, hey, what's happening, SA?
Hey, what's happening?
Oh, and what's also really disturbing too, we didn't even get into this, they all have barcodes.
Yeah. Like Futurama.
Yeah, so that's disturbing.
This movie was kind of Futurama-y.
Yeah, I would agree.
Futurama's kind of like more... It is a trashy future, but it's definitely like way better than...
It's more utopian. This is dystopian.
Futurama's like... It's still a satire of like, society in the same way, but like this is like way more like hell world.
Yeah.
But that's one thing I wanted to mention too is like... This is like my like worst fear. Not like society has become so fucking rotten. Like not that, but just like being somewhere where no one will listen to you.
Yeah.
Like it's like kind of seemingly like a normal world that functions. People have cars and jobs. They go around. But when you try and talk to them, they call you like the F word, and then they like make fun of you, and then they just don't listen to you. And also the fact that it's like. As a modern day person, you could definitely say like, well, of course you shouldn't feed your crops fucking soda.
Yeah, which we should talk about the Brondo thing.
Of course.
Yeah.
But as like a modern day person, you could say like, you shouldn't make fucking your plants drink soda or like, you have to plug in your computer to make it work. But like, do I know how to make a computer? Like, could I make a farm? Fuck no.
Yeah.
So it's like. If the problem went any deeper than just like, they're not using water, like maybe they're not turning over the crops or because they're stupid,
Yeah.
So there might be a deeper issue that you could kind of identify but not explain well enough to do anything about. Like that's terrifying.
Yeah.
Like just the whole not conversation, the communication aspect.
Yeah.
It's really scary, but I think it was well done in the movie. Like they did a pretty good job portraying like.
I agree, and I agree that's scary.
A weird fish out of water in this world that he had to make up.
Yeah.
So It's pretty good.
And like I say, yeah, I agree that's like a scary prospect.
Really,
yeah.
Because I mean, like if you like rip someone's toenails off or their bones out or whatever, like that's one thing. But like being like if someone just dropped you in the heart of fucking like Mexico,
yeah,
like not that Mexico is like a hell world like Idiocracy, but just like a foreign place.
Yeah.
And just being on your own is fucking terrifying.
I agree. But yeah, Brondo. So obviously that's like a parody of Gatorade.
So that's the one they couldn't get away with.
Yeah.
Because they name drop Mountain Dew, they're like, oh, it's like Mountain Dew. But that's the only time where they have to be like, they name drop, like they have Starbucks signs, they have this and that, they have Carl's Jr.
Yeah.
But that's the only one where they kind of had to make up a fake name.
I guess because it's like it feels like the most deliberately like evil of all the corporations in it. Because they say in the movie, but like half of the country works for Brondo, so they've like completely taken over everything, and they feed the crops with Brondo. All the water fountains have it. So for them, they think water is like something you just for the toilet.
Jim.
Yeah. No comment.
No, once my uncle's... I'm going to mention it.
Okay.
It's something that he actually said. My Uncle Jim, he doesn't drink soda as much anymore, but he used to drink a lot of soda. And
Can we mention which?
Mountain Dew.
Okay.
And so I remember when I was younger, I asked him, like, oh, like, why don't you drink a water? And he's like, that's for the bathtub. That's for the bathtub. It was dead ass, like... I don't know, maybe he got that from Idiocracy. I don't know, because very similar reaction. But
yeah, remember you trying to tell that guy, like, yeah, can I get a drink of water somewhere? He's like, what?
Water?
Yeah.
From the toilet?
That's become like the replacement for water.
One joke I thought was really funny. Oh, sorry, not to get off Rondo. We can keep.
No, yeah. I can.
One, it relates to that. It was really funny when he's like, "Oh, like I'm sorry, Terry Crews, president. I have to go. Like I have to go back to my own time." And then, someone in the crowd.
Oh, like at the end of the movie.
Yeah, at the very end of the movie, and they're talking about how are we gonna because they're like, oh, he fixed the crops, right? So they're like, how are we going to fix the trash? And they're like, put toilet water on it.
I remember that. Yeah, that was...
Because that's such like a real thing. Like if something's just out of your depth, it's like, oh, maybe it's the same solution.
Yeah,
somehow.
yeah.
Like,
I agree. Yeah. That was funny. I don't have a lot to say about the Brodo. I just thought it was funny. And
it's kind of like the key thing about the movie, though.
But I'm going to say what it reminds me of now. Because it is kind of scary. It reminds me kind of like Amazon. Because I don't know what percentage of it is, but like some crazy percentage of the country works for Amazon now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Amazon like runs everything. So obviously they're nothing like Brondo. They're not a fucking like Gatorade company. But still it's like we said, all the corporation thing is like pretty. That's the most spot on thing in this movie, I think. Yeah. But anyways, that's I'm gonna say. And it's funny. So once they stop using the Brondo for the crops, like the stock tanks, and all the people become like unemployed, and the CEO of Brondo, whatever, is fucking
Wait, who is he?
It's Thomas Hayden Church.
Oh,
yeah, like Thomas Hayden Church.
I knew I recognized him. Oh shit!
And that seems funny though when he's freaking out on like the camera.
Funny. And there's I forget what he does exactly, but like he's like, "Hey, yeah, that is your fault," like to Joe or whatever.
Yeah, I didn't have too much to say about Brondo. I just thought I just wanted to talk about the Amazon thing for a second.
I'm glad you told me who that was because I was wondering.
Oh, you're like, yeah, I know that.
I was like, I know that face. I thought he was like a wrestler or something.
No, it's Mr. Thomas Hayden Church. Yeah.
Sandman himself. Right?
It was Sandman himself.
There you go.
Interesting little cameo right there.
It's funny.
Yeah,
that's a good one. What else we got, Evan?
I will also say though, I think maybe the Brondo thing, it might have been another reaction to another ad campaign that's gone there. Do you remember back then? It was around the same time when we were younger. They had those Gatorade campaigns where it's like the football players would be like fucking chugging Gatorade and shit like that. You know what I mean? It's like, no, you should be drinking water.
And they would pay people. I mean, presumably.
Yeah.
At the end of football games to like dump Gatorade on the coach's
head. Exactly.
Like yeah, I don't think they do that no more. But
me either. But exactly, that's my point. So it feels kind of like a reaction to another similar ad campaign that was going on around that time.
Or even there's a ton of ads where they treat Coke or Pepsi like it's water.
Yeah,
Like it's like the refreshing, cool taste you eat on a summer's day. It's like no one is refreshed by a soda like that.
It's funny when they talk about the electrolytes and nobody knows what it'll happen.
See, that's what I was saying. Like, the scariest part of it is, like, you know what's wrong, but you couldn't really explain it to those people. You know what I mean?
They're like, it has electrolytes.
And the fact that he has to just be like, I can talk to plants.
Yeah.
Like, he can't even, like, try and explain it to them.
Yeah.
He's just like, I can talk to plants.
Yeah, because, like you said, he can't really... Because he's just a normal guy. He can't, like, explain the science behind it.
Yeah.
He's just, like, he just knows this is, like, this is not right.
Yeah. Which, that's scary.
Yeah.
That is really scary. Because I think about that sometimes, too, where it's, like, if you just got trapped on a desert island, or if, like, society, like, fucking got hit by a solar flare or something, like, could we make cell phones again? I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, it would probably take, like, fucking 100 years before people could make a cell phone again. Or, like, make a manufacturing plant that, or, I don't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
Because there's a lot of smart people, but not a lot of people know, like, the nitty-gritty of, like, building a fucking car.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of people can work on cars, but could you, like, cast the iron and, like, fucking tell me, like, how to put it together? I don't know. Yeah, so that's really scary.
It is.
Because there's that gap in knowledge that people didn't have. Like, everyone knew how to do everything when it was, like, 1400.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, yeah, I guess I can sew and cook, and that's, like, all you have to do, or whatever. Like, build a house, maybe. But, I don't know, it's very complicated.
Yeah, And it's they kind of address that at the very end of the movie too. And I like, it's a sweet little moment at the end.
What is it?
So it's after he like gets married to Rita or whatever. They had 3 kids. Frito's the vice president. He has like 20 kids.
Yeah, it was funny how they describe it too. The narrator.
Yeah.
It's like, these are the 3 smartest kids in the world.
He had the 20 dumbest kids.
Frito took 8 wives and had 20 kids, and these are the 20 dumbest kids in the world.
But yeah, I just want to say, it's like, oh yeah, so at the very end, the narrator's like, oh, so maybe Joe didn't save mankind, but he got the ball rolling, and that's pretty good for an average guy.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, that's a sweet little moment. And like you said, it's like, he obviously doesn't have the answers for everything, but he got the ball rolling. Yeah. So it's like,
and that, guess what?
That's the most, you know, you don't have to be a genius.
That's
you know,
all you can hope for.
Yeah,
anyone.
exactly, yeah.
Be proactive, you know.
And I think that speaks to what you were saying about what really this movie is about. It's just try your best. You know what I mean?
I definitely don't think that this movie's saying, like, don't be poor or don't be stupid.
Yeah.
I definitely think it's saying, like, just try.
Yeah.
I think that's
definitely. I agree. Yeah. So, I like that sweet little bit of narration to top off the movie at the end.
Pretty clever movie, and I like how he phases out the. I like how he phases out the stupid, like, Mardi Gras president suit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, at the very end of the movie, he's wearing something that's, like, kind of normal.
Yeah.
And he's kind of like...
All the clothes are really interesting in the movie, because it's, like, they're all made, like, a very similar kind of, like, fabric.
Yeah, I think they're deliberately, like, cheap looking.
Yeah, yeah.
And a lot of them, it's really funny, it's like a NASCAR.
Yeah, exactly.
Where it just has, like,
the
100 corporate logos on it. It's really funny. It reminds me of Smallville. Can I mention Smallville?
Yeah, of course.
So Smallville's classic Superman, CW Smallville.
Mm-hmm.
When they added, I never watched this, but I always thought it was clever. Like Booster Gold, he's like the shitty. That ties into Idiocracy kind of too. Like, he's a guy with like semi-average technology from the future, and he's like, well, if I go back in time, I can be a superhero because like no one has this technology. So he goes back in time, and in Smallville, they have this thing where he has like a NASCAR suit. Like, he's a huge sellout.
Yeah.
And he just has, like, a bunch of brands on him.
You know what that reminds me of, too? Have you ever seen Mystery Men?
Yeah.
You remember, like, the main... Like, they're all, like, shitty superheroes.
What is the main one, what's his name? It's, like, the mad one.
No. I don't mean, like, the main of the Mystery Men. That's Ben Stiller, though.
Oh, right, yeah.
But, no, I mean, like the actual superhero in that world. Like, the one who's, like...
The main Superman guy.
Yeah,
Guy.
You remember his outfit, he has all the corporate, like... He's been bought out by all the fucking corporations.
That's a good one.
On his costume, it has all the logos on it.
Yeah.
That's what it reminded me of when you were saying that.
That's a good one.
Mystery Men, that'd be a fun one to maybe do someday.
I want to rewatch that.
Yeah, I haven't seen it in a long time. It's funny.
Jinx, you owe me soda.
I do owe Dylan a soda.
Okay.
Don't I? But yeah, I don't have too much more to say about Idiocracy. Is there anything else we missed, Dylan, that you want to talk about? There is one little thing, but it's not a big thing.
It was well. I did want to just give credit, I guess, to the gimmick of the movie. I don't know. It's pretty clever. Just the only smart people, like the you know, they're normal people.
Yeah.
Like with a bunch of idiots. And, like, the way he's kind of able to trick them sometimes and, like, work around them sometimes.
Yeah, I agree.
It's just, like, a clever gimmick and a clever... Yeah.
But, yeah, it's Idiocracy. Good movie.
Good movie.
I like it.
I would give Idiocracy 2 out of 3 stars.
2 out of 3 stars? I would give it 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10?
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
I like it a lot. Yeah, it's really funny to me.
That's a good movie.
Yeah. It's my brand of comedy, you may say. I like that brand of comedy. No, I like all of my judges shit. He just makes really funny.
He's a cool guy.
Yeah, I fuck with him.
He's a cool guy. You know there's a King of the Hill reboot coming?
I did not know that.
Or like, not reboot.
Is it a new season?
Like sequel series.
Is it about Luann?
No.
Is it about Bobby? Well, if it was about adult Bobby.
I don't want to say
That'd be crazy.
Because you already know what that would look like.
Bad.
You know what I mean? Like, it would be like a Gen Z.
Yeah,
like,
I know.
He'd have, like, purple hair.
Because they love Bobby.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he's like a meme.
Like, fucking... Oh, my God. I remember I dated this girl a long time ago, and it was like... She was younger than me, okay? And it was like... I remember being like... There was a period of time where it was like, King of the Hill was just not on my mind, right?
Yeah.
Like, I saw it, like you said, like, on Adult Swim, like, when I was a kid, and I was like, oh, I don't really like this.
Yeah.
And then, like, the next time I thought about King of the Hill is, like, these fucking, like, emo girls just being like, Bobby is so mean.
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck?
He's usually part of a lot of cringy memes, Bobby Hill.
Yeah.
Even though I like him, he's funny in the show, but it's
fault.
like, yeah, I've never blamed you, Bobby, but
fault.
yeah.
He's a good character.
Yeah, he is.
It's a good show.
It is.
It's a good show. So thank you, Mike Judge.
Thank you, my judge.
For this cool movie. Thank you for the years of entertainment.
Thank you.
And love and joy.
Thank you. Make another movie. He hasn't directed a movie in a long time.
Or make something.
Yeah.
Make whatever you want.
Make whatever you want.
Yeah, don't get apathetic.
Don't.
Mike Judge.
I think he has.
The world needs you.
Yeah.
The world needs you. Keep the ball rolling. Evan, can I mention?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can mention it as well. What you've been watching.
What I've been watching?
Want to talk about that?
What have I been watching? I've been watching various things.
What have you been watching?
Check out my letterbox. You can see what I've been watching.
Check out my letterbox too. I'll probably check out mine first, but that's okay.
Yeah, check out Dylan's.
Yeah.
I've been watching various movies. No TV shows or anything like that.
TV sucks.
I just saw Inland Empire. That was a good movie.
Oh, what's that?
It's a David Lynch movie. It's really hard to explain because it's weird as fuck. It's really weird. Well, and it's really long. It's 3 hours long.
That's David Lynch for you.
I saw that. That was good. What else have I seen recently that I enjoyed? Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, obviously.
Good pick.
I love that fantastic film. I don't know. Cool. Look at my letterbox. I watched a lot of movies recently.
I've watched almost all of Better Call Saul. It's been good.
New season soon, right?
New season already came out.
Oh, okay. Or it's coming. It's airing. It's airing.
In the process of airing, yeah. So I'm up to like halfway through season 4, and then season 5 is on Netflix, and then season 6 is coming out right now. So I'm almost caught up on it. It's really good. I actually made me kind of want to watch Breaking Bad again. I might do that.
You should.
I haven't watched it since...
After you watch the prequel, you watch the sequel.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
What a good idea. But yeah, fucking Bob Odenkirk. Thoughts and prayers to him.
Did he die?
No. No, but he had, a heart attack on set.
Oh yeah, he did. He's old.
Thoughts and prayers to him.
He's been around like a lot longer than you would think.
Yeah, he was on like SNL in like the 80s.
Yeah, he did like a lot of writing for a lot of different things. Yeah. I think he wrote for like Curb Your Enthusiasm. He wrote for Tenacious D, the HBO show.
Oh really?
Back in the day, yeah, in the late 90s. So he's been around for a long time.
I think he wrote for The Simpsons too.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I
wouldn't be surprised.
So he's a badass. And what else did I watch?
Did you like his John Wick movie?
It's alright.
Did you see it? You did see it, right?
Oh, I saw it with Brandon.
It was called Nobody, I think.
For a second, I thought we saw it together, but I saw it with Brandon. Yeah, it was pretty good. It was,
I didn't see it.
It was inoffensive. It was better than... Remember that Jason Statham one?
Wrath of Man?
Yeah.
I like the Wrath of Man.
For my money, I like the Bob Odenkirk one better.
You know what's funny? The other day, Joey told me, like, yeah, I'm watching Wrath of Man. I was like, oh, cool. I was like, oh, cool.
Yeah, we should, like, we should think of a name for that genre.
Guy Ritchie movies.
It's, like, not... Is it...
Oh, are you talking... Wait, what do you mean?
Well, I was just gonna say,
like... Oh,
like...
no. Guy Ritchie didn't direct Nobody.
I was gonna say, like, Nobody, Wrath of Man, and then Ambulance. Like, it's, like... That weird Not Taken, Not John Wick...
Yeah.
Type of movie.
I know what you mean, yeah.
I don't know, like the... Yeah, like... Somewhat, well, at least...
It kind of was spawned from both of those movies.
Yeah.
Ambulance, I would say less so, but I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Like an established star in, like, a gritty kind of action movie, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, I watched Constantine.
Nice.
Speaking of John Wick.
Nice. I have not seen
Constantine
the original
awesome.
Constantine.
It's awesome.
Yeah, I'll have to check it out sometime.
You do have to check it out sometime.
Shia LaBeouf. I'll have to check it out for Shia.
Yeah. You do. It's going to be awesome.
I like Tilda Swinton, too, and she's in it.
She's really good in it.
Yeah.
She's really good. And it's really cool because, like...
Is she playing Gabriel, correct?
I kind of buy her as, like, I guess they do that with her.
An angel?
Yeah.
Or kind of, They do know, like, I know what you're saying, like, the gender bending type.
Like
that is something Tilda Swinton
like
does.
A non-gendered person.
Yeah,
You super buy that. And, like, she looks... The way they do her hair and her makeup and shit, the way she looks in the movie... It looks like a fucking, like, she looks kind of like a David statue. Like, fuck, who the fuck is that? Michelangelo?
Yeah, I know what you mean, yeah.
One of the Ninja Turtles that made that statue.
Yeah.
She looks like, one of those, like, old Greek statues.
Yeah, I don't know if we've talked about the Suspiria remake, but in that, she plays, like, 3 different roles, and one of the roles is, like, an old man.
Oh, yeah.
So...
No, we should do Suspiria sometime.
Yeah. Definitely, yeah.
Because I remember I watched, like, an hour-long video about...
Was it about the original or the remake?
They talked about both.
Okay. I haven't seen the original. I've only seen the remake.
Well, no, I think it was about the remake because I remember that was when they were talking about like.
I know they're like completely different, like because like the original's like an hour and a half long, and then the remake is like it's like 2.5 hours long, and I think they have completely different endings.
I remember the person that made I can't remember who the fuck it was, but they were like, oh yeah, like the old Suspiria. I thought they were just making it like for some like bullshit like. Capitalize on like the Rob Zombie Halloween and capitalize off the like
the remake,
the Friday the 13th remake, and like the all horror revival stuff they were doing. But then they were like, I love Suspiria, but then I wound up loving the remake even more.
Oh,
so that's pretty awesome. So I want to check those out sometime.
Yeah, I still have to see the original. I have not seen it, but the remake is really good.
Epic.
Yeah.
Epic. Moon Knight finished up.
Oh, it did.
Stupid show.
I believe you.
No, but seriously, okay, the show was bad, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the ending was really cool. So there's that.
I believe you.
There's that. You might as well just take my word for it, because
I don't plan on watching
it. Don't waste your fucking time. But yeah, that's what we've been up to. I've been playing Fortnite. Fortnite's fun.
Fortnite, yeah, of course.
Been eating hamburgers and stuff.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, so pretty great life.
God is good.
God is good.
Thank
Love
you,
to
God.
hear it. Love to hear it. The tattoo looks good.
Thank you.
Tattoo's healing nicely.
Thank you.
Yeah, so we're basically just a couple happy guys.
I agree.
Yeah. I got a raise.
Oh, yeah, congratulations.
Can I talk about that?
Yeah.
Am I supposed to talk about that?
If you want.
Like
it's your money, not mine.
Okay. I got a little raise at work. That's cool.
Nice.
And fucking what's it called? Buffalo 66.
Doing good.
Doing good numbers.
Doing good.
But yeah. One more thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Evan. I want to mention my toys. I love to mention my toys, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I went to see Doctor Strange, that terrible movie.
It was really bad.
That Evan didn't even want to see, really. And then, so I went to see it. And then immediately after I saw the movie, guess what I went and did? I saw the movie. It was dog shit. I made a Letterboxd review. I was like, this sucks. I told you and Andy throughout the movie. I was like, this movie sucks. I told my friends this movie sucks. Like everyone else I know. Left the theater immediately. Guess what I did, Evan?
What'd you do?
I went to the Lego store and I bought a Doctor Strange Lego set.
Nice.
It's the first thing I did.
So Disney did their job. Disney did their job. You saw the movie and you went and bought the merchandise.
But the thing is, though...
They don't care if you hated the movie. You spent the money.
You bought it, motherfucker, you dumbass. No, because that's where the money is. The money isn't in the movie.
Yeah.
It's not in the ticket. It's in the merchandise.
Yeah,
That's what they want you to do. But I didn't buy it because I was like, I'm in the mood for Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
It was because I've wanted a Doctor Strange for a while,
Mhm.
and this is like the most affordable set they've made, for me to get a Doctor Strange. And it was actually the No Way Home set, but I'm glad to add a Doctor Strange to my collection.
There he is. He looks good.
Yeah, he looks
Will
good.
you replace his hands with yellow?
Nah. Well, it's just
fucked up.
because
That's fucked up.
if I can find like kind of a beige color hands, maybe. But like the minifig skin yellow.
No, I don't really necessarily mean like that. I mean like more like the gloves.
Yeah, if I can find like a beige kind of color, like a sand color, yeah. Perhaps.
That'd be cool.
You know what's stupid, Evan?
Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness.
Well, that movie is stupid. And so is Society, of course.
Yeah, of course.
As we learned today. But the Doctor Strange didn't come with like spell stuff.
That is stupid.
There's no magic pieces that came in that set.
Not even for Wong.
No, not even for Wong, the Sorcerer Supreme himself.
That's fucked up.
Which is, deeply fucked up.
Wong is still the Sorcerer Supreme at the end of...
And he's still
the
alive.
Multiverse of Madness. Yeah. Will Doctor Strange ever become the Sorcerer Supreme again? I guess we'll have to see.
You know what I think he will? Can I tell you my game theory as to why?
No, Clea will become it.
No,
So
that's what
you're
I'm
wrong.
saying. I think they will want Clea to take it from Strange. Genuinely.
From Strange or from Wong?
I think they're going to want it to be from Strange to Clea. So I think they're going to make Strange the Sorcerer Supreme at some point, and then in the next Doctor Strange movie, Clea is going to take it.
But what will
from
happen?
Strange.
Will Wong die?
I don't know.
That's what I'm wondering.
Maybe he'll be disgraced. I don't know.
Oh, maybe. He's gonna go evil.
Yeah, I'll go evil, I guess. He'll go No, he's going to quit and go train Ned.
That would be epic.
Yeah,
that
that's
would
what
be
he's
epic.
going to do. The Ned Wong movie.
That would be epic. Yo, America Chavez and Ned are gonna train together. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That movie sucks.
It does.
But yeah, thank you for listening to RNS Podcast. Again, please subscribe.
Please.
If you feel so inclined. If you'd like to meet us again next week for our next adventure.
Do you know what we're doing? Have you thought about it yet?
No.
Okay. We'll figure it out.
Maybe Top Gun, the original Top Gun?
That'd be cool.
I don't know. Don't hold me to that. But,
no, I'm not.
if you do have any ideas yourselves...
It is your choice, though.
About...
After this.
Oh,
yeah,
is it?
It is your choice after this.
But anyways, thank you again for listening. Please leave a like if you enjoyed it. If you have any thoughts about what we should do next week, like I said, I'm not married to anything, or what we should do in the future, leave a movie suggestion.
Do it.
Please don't leave a franchise suggestion, as some people tend to do. We're not going to do those anytime soon. And, yeah. I love you. Welcome to Costco. I love you.